I'm so not impressed right now. It's almost comical. The last 50 minutes of my life, I went to therapy and it was so bad. I think I've considered my own career in psychology. For 50 minutes, I seriously considered becoming a therapist because I think I was therapizing my therapist. And I tried really hard not to, but that was just so shocking. Have you ever gone to therapy? First of all, have you ever gone to therapy? That's actually a really good question. Second of all, have you ever gone to therapy and seen someone who read you the textbook? Literally just straight from the textbook? Didn't consider your situation at all, just literally read you a textbook for 50 minutes? I have. And I am trying really hard right now to keep myself together. I am very self-observant. I know my flaws. I'm very good at, I intellectualize my emotions to the point where I can see everything wrong with me. I can go to the direct cause. I can say, why did this happen? How did that make me feel? And how do I not get that to happen again? And I'm very good at being my own personal therapist, but it gets to a point where you have to go and see a professional. It's great to identify your own issues, but you should really go and see someone. I just went and saw someone. Now, I've seen therapists in the past and they have also been very surface level. Not gonna lie, I don't think I've ever seen a therapist that has actually identified the root cause of my issues. They've always just kind of like been like very surface level. It's just not been helpful. Today's therapy session, holy shit. I have so much to unpack. First of all, we're not going to shame this woman, but we are going to give a description, okay? We're gonna call her Janice. She was a bit older, and there was points in the conversation, it wasn't a conversation actually, it was just her talking. She did not take into consideration of my problems at all. For 50 minutes, I think I spoke for 5 minutes. And Janice literally talked about COVID for like 10 minutes. She talked about things like Telstra, and I don't know if you've got grandparents who dislike the next generations or have problems with the next generations and they always like go, these damn kids. That was her. Okay, you've got the description. I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just giving like, that's a fact. That was who I was. That was my therapist. So it was over the phone, and it got to a point in the conversation where I was like, no, I'm about to hang up on this woman. And I just thought, no, that is not who you are. Just sit back, listen to what she's saying, and open your mind to what she's saying, okay? I did that. And it was the longest 50 minutes of my life. I just sat there on the phone. Holy shit, I need a drink after that. I need to see a therapist just after that. I need to go see someone to talk about that. And I think that's why I'm sitting here. Oh my god. I don't understand how it is so hard just for a therapist to talk to you about your own problems. To like get to the root cause, you know? Like, she didn't address anything on my paper because I went to the doctor. I have a really good doctor. I was in New Zealand for a year and I got sick overseas, so my anxiety is very much warranted. I've always kind of struggled with anxiety, but it really heightened getting sick in a foreign country and not having anyone around, and then having to get on a flight, and I've only been back for like 4 weeks. Yeah, my doctor, amazing, got straight to the root cause, and my trauma is kind of bad. It's pretty fucked, not gonna lie. I'm strong because I've dealt with a lot, okay? Point blank fucking period. My doctor herself almost cried when she heard what I told her, and I was like, yeah. So she had to write these things down on the paper to send to the therapist. The therapist literally did not talk about anything other than anxiety. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. People keep messaging me about not even important right now. I have to talk about this. So the point where I was actually about to hang up on this lady was when I told her that I get anxiety in specific situations, and she told me, and I'm not making this up, she said, I just don't understand why. I just don't see why you would get anxiety in that kind of situation. I don't know. I just don't know. Basically like telling me that there was no reason for me to feel like that. And then she like carried on telling me about just stuff that like that had no relevance to me. And she was like, well, we all do this. We all feel like that in this situation. I was like, I don't. I literally told her, I was like, no, I don't really think I've ever felt like that, to be honest. Then she was talking about COVID, and like, it's true, a lot of people have social anxiety from COVID because they were spending a lot of time inside, and now they have to go back outdoors. But the way that she was talking about COVID was just like non-stop. I was like, yeah, I get it, okay. But that has not really much relevance to this 50-minute consult. So if we could talk about something else, yeah, well then no. If we could just talk about something else, please. I'm just very disappointed. I don't think that people should have to pay money to see a therapist who's not even going to consider your problems. Someone who's just gonna skip over it and not really deal with it. I just think that it's, I don't know. I'm just thinking, I just always like think about other people going to see, you know, these health professionals. I had really bad experiences with doctors in New Zealand, and I don't think it was just New Zealand. I think it was just the doctors that I went to. They were nothing like my doctor that I have found here, and I think it's really important to find a really good doctor, because she really has helped sort me out and gave me the confidence to keep looking into my health, because they couldn't find what was wrong with me. Anyway, and so yeah, the doctors in New Zealand, they just kind of skipped over my problems. And that's literally how I felt with this therapist. She just kind of like skipped over everything and just read to me what anxiety is. Bullet point, like she went through bullet points that have things like that have nothing to do with me. And there was even one point when she was like, well, people get anxiety in exams, that's a big one. And I was like, I'm not studying, and I haven't been in high school for like 10 years almost, so not really. I didn't really ever used to get anxiety going into exams at school either. And then she just kept saying, oh, that's a really big one. And I was like, yeah, it is probably for someone else, not for me though. Like, my situation is completely different right now. Like, do you understand my situation? Or so disappointed. Like, I was really looking forward to going back to therapy. I think that the moral of this story is not to give up. Instead, I think that I'm just going to look for someone better. I don't even want to say better. Like, I don't even want to be mean to this lady, but first of all, don't gaslight me. I've been gaslit before. I know what gaslighting is. Do not make me feel like my problems are small and insignificant, okay? Because they aren't. When I go out and I feel that way, it feels like the world is collapsing. I don't know if you've ever dealt with anxiety in like social situations, but it's not a small, insignificant problem. Not to me, not to you. So don't ever let anyone tell you that your problem is insignificant, ever. And I think that was like I think that's one of the reasons why I love my doctor, because when I was telling her about my problems, she looked at me and she said, "It is not your fault." And she just kept repeating, "It is not your fault." And that was like the first time I've ever been seen, you know? And then to have other health professionals, or not even just health professionals, just have people who are supposed to, you know, help you, tell you that your problems are insignificant. I'm sorry, but it's actually a problem. If you're studying in anything, any area that is directly targeted to helping people, please never make others feel insignificant for what they're going through. Even if you can't see it, never ever make someone feel less than and like their problems aren't an issue, because that is damaging. And I want to laugh and I want to cry. Anyway, that was my therapy experience. Onwards and upwards. I don't think that it could actually get worse, so I'm really excited to see who I get next. I'm excited to continue going to therapy, and I'm very open with the conversation of therapy. It's not really like it's not really a problem for me telling people that I go to therapy. It's just like a thing. I think we should all go to therapy. I think maybe the world would be a better place if we all went to therapy. Truly. Anyway, that was my therapy experience. Hope you enjoyed. I hope you deal with someone a lot better than me. And if you are dealing with a therapist or a health professional that doesn't take you seriously, literally dump them. It's time to dump them, and it's time to get someone better. Don't waste your time, okay? All right. Rant over. I think I've discussed that enough. I've had my debrief, and I'm not going to worry about Janice anymore. So thank you for watching and listening, and I will see you in the next one.